Broadcasting from the Merritt Hall Studios out of Carson City, Nevada. You're listening to Covering the Field with Big Richard Martin, Gator Gates, and Joe the Answer Ellison.
Welcome to Covering the Field. We're at MXC Studio, and we have the Covering the Field crew here to get in right away to the NFL. Week 2 is in the books. Joe the Answer, can you tell us what happened last week?
Well, I would say a couple things. Obviously, Baltimore beating Cincinnati was huge, with Joe Burrow for Cincinnati re-aggravating his calf. That was my Super Bowl pick at the beginning of the season. Now, I don't even know if he's going to be playing next week. Pretty rough situation. Kansas City beat Jacksonville. Kansas City's defense showed up in, teams that are supposed to win their division, at least at the beginning of the year, so it was said. And we've had our biggest comeback of the season so far. How about the Giants? 31-28 over Arizona. They were down 21 points. They were down 57, at least 57-0 at one point for the season. And it looked like, oh man, they looked horrible.
No offense.
And came back and won the game.
No offense. And where did the Arizona defense go? We also have Gator Gates in studio with us. Gator, what happened in that game, that New York game?
Well, the good question. I really don't know. Arizona was doing all right in the first half. So
They were winning 20-7,
and then
21-7. That's not 28-7.
Well,
Could have been 28-7.
I was thinking about using it as a host story, but I have found something better. But boy, if you're at Arizona, you got
In Arizona, you're trying to cash in your ticket early.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I have to get home. Can I get my money? This is an obvious. I got +5 and I'm up 21 points at halftime. In the studio, also our producer Cornelius. What do you think happened in that collapse with the Arizona Cardinals?
Daniel Jones showed up and Arizona's garbage.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't look like garbage in the first half. They looked great, and then they
Giants
just
looked like garbage.
yeah.
Well, now
Six straight quarters, no points.
Yeah.
And then they showed up. They got a halftime pep talk from the coach, and Daniel Jones decides to play football.
Oh,
and now they're out there running back. It cost them
Yep,
that.
Barkley's out.
Yeah, so
He's officially out. Saquon
was it
Barkley.
worth it?
And
Was it
yes,
worth
he's
it?
on your fantasy team, and yes, he's on mine. You're not very happy with that last minute turn of the ankle when he's throwing his helmet. You think when a grown man is throwing a tantrum on the sideline, he's probably going to be out multiple weeks.
Now, who did we lose? We lost Burrow, we lost Barkley, we lost Chubb.
yeah.
Nick Chubb out
Out.
Now
Out
We
for the
got,
season.
out for the season.
We got questions on Burrow, questions on Anthony Richardson for Indy,
He's not playing concussion protocol.
Brandon Ayuk, San Francisco.
Richardson's out, officially out.
Not officially, but he's like 90% they're saying because of concussion, he may not pass it.
Bryce Young, Carolina.
Bryce Young is
Questionable.
questionable.
Austin
Deanie-
Eckler is out.
Yeah,
I know
he's
that.
out.
He's been out,
And maybe Odell Beckham Jr.
and Russell Wilson's been out for the whole last
questionable.
2 years.
So
So
let's recap that. All these quarterbacks that got huge pay over the offseason: Burrow, Herbert, Jackson,
all of
Aaron
them.
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
You got to put him on there.
Okay, that leads me right into our Sink or Swim segment of the week. Aaron Rodgers,
Jeez.
Everybody's
Are we-
3 snaps. He took 3 snaps, and Sink or Swim.
Oh, he
took 4.
He took 4.
It happened on the
On
4th.
So you're sinking on 3. You're sinking. You're sinking.
It happened.
Well, you guys are you're right on the sink, but it was 5 snaps. Four
I got
snaps, and he snapped his Achilles tendon. So 5 exactly
Oh,
snaps.
wow.
5 snaps. Sorry,
That's a joke
that's
of
a joke of the night. Sorry about it. Sorry.
Aaron Rodgers.
I got Joe the answer on that one. I got to really trick him to get him. Okay, so this is the week where we see 0-2. 0-2 teams. You got any stats on that? Well, of course I do. I know Joe does, but I'm going to beat you to it, Joe. Since the NFL-AFL merger, 407 teams have been 0-2. 39 of them has made the playoffs. That is a whopping 9.8%.
Wow.
And only
Worse than I thought.
Less than 2.
and then only 7.7 has made it in the last 3 years that started 0-2.
Right.
So we're going to go to our next segment, and we're going to call this "Where's the Door to 24" on these teams, or "Don't Give Up on Me in 23." All right, so I'm going to give you your 0-2 teams. Reminder that there's only 9% since the merger, 7% last 3 years. 0-2. We're going to start with the producers, Chicago Bears.
We're going to go through all of them.
Yes. Just give me where's the door? Just be really quick. Show me the door.
If
The
the Bears
24.
if the Bears lose this week,
We're on week 2. Don't be giving your team bad mojo and 3.
I'm saying, where's the door? Justin Fields. Where's
Justin
the
Fields,
door?
if you give the door to him, you got to give it to him.
I give the door to the coaches.
Right.
Coach is gone.
Okay.
One of the coaches is gone, but he's a defensive coach, and I don't think he just.
He's
doesn't
looking
want
for
to do
health
that.
reasons.
Well, I wouldn't
Yeah.
feel very
Yeah,
healthy
okay,
in that
yeah,
locker room
exactly.
either right now.
I'm only a 9% chance.
You're right, Joe.
And anybody that has to
You're
go to
right.
a cardiologist and gets a 9% chance, that's not good.
Yeah.
We're moving on to Minnesota. Where's the door to 24? Or don't give up on me in 23.
Don't give up on me in 23.
They
We're
don't know
staying
how
with
to
Kirk
win.
Cousins.
They don't know how to win.
They won a lot of close games last year.
They don't know how to win.
No,
Joe.
I don't have Minnesota advancing at all.
Okay. All right.
They don't play any defense.
They don't play any defense.
4
and the
turnovers
slow
this
clap.
week.
Yeah,
4
yeah.
turnovers this
All right.
week.
So move on to Carolina Panthers. You're 0-2. You're going to the Seattle. You're down to quarterback Bryce Young.
Where's the door 24?
Where's the door 24?
Oh, yeah.
Give me some. Give
The
me
door
some.
is cracked.
The door's cracked. You're saying this half open, half shut. You're just like anybody else on the Democratic page. You're being on the fence.
Time for Andy Dalton to survive.
Ooh,
Andy
good
Dalton,
one.
you're saying
No,
don't
they're-
give up on me.
No, they're out the door. The hell with
All
Andy
right,
Dalton.
okay. We all know this one. Can we give where the hell's the door for the Arizona Cardinals? Are we all going to?
Yes, that's a long time
Okay.
ago.
Or can we give us all like where to the door to 24 on the Denver Broncos?
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm afraid
I'm
so.
afraid so. Yeah.
Sean
Is
Payton's
anybody
not happy
giving
with
Russ-
Russell Wilson?
No.
He's not happy with Russell Wilson at all, and that contract was another dumb contract.
Another dumb contract. Okay.
Okay.
And, lost a lot of picks for that. Cincinnati. I'll put since Burrow's been there, has played the first 2 games. He is 1-7. Last year 0-2. Should have been if he had. I could have beat Kansas City and Burrowhead. He would have went to
He's
the.
your 10%.
He would have went to their Super Bowl 2 years. Do you think they make the playoffs?
He's your 10%.
If he's healthy, absolutely.
He's your 10%.
I say don't give up on me at 23. You
Yeah.
can't give up on me.
Can't give up on
They
him.
started 0-2 last year, reached the AFC Championship game.
Right.
Obviously, they were actually the best team in football, in my opinion, at the end of the year. They have the potential to be there again. And but he has to
Okay.
be healthy.
Can we all give Houston the door for 24?
Absolutely.
Oh, without a doubt.
No, so
With
the
the-
2 best
with the
quarterbacks,
food
the
on
two,
the way
number
up.
2, 1 and 2 picks. Your guys 2 games in. Your guys are like, to hell with the picks. We're moving on to 24. We got to get you some blocking. We got to get you some receivers.
Yep.
Okay, the 2 that are very interesting: the LA Superchargers.
Don't give up
Oh,
on me
yeah.
at 23.
Well, with their running back out, how long?
That Kyron,
That's what they're
Kyron
still not
Williams
known.
is still good.
I'm,
The backup.
I'm
Josh
going.
Kelly, Joshua Kelly's
Yeah, you're
good
right.
too.
I know what you're saying.
No, Josh Kelly.
Joshua
I've
Kelly.
only
It's
got.
cracked.
I've
The
only
door
got
is
room.
cracked.
I've only got room for so many teams to make my playoffs, and I'm gonna have to say no on the Chargers. Although I will give them credit, they've scored 50.
You get to play the
points.
Broncos twice. They're 2-2.
Okay. They scored 50 points,
Good
committed
point.
0 turnovers in their first 2 games, and they're 0-2. That's the first time in history anybody's ever done that. So maybe there is some potential, but Brandon Staley's the coach, and the way they lost that playoff game last year,
Yeah.
I don't think they're over that yet. I don't think they make it. They're out the door.
Okay.
Mm.
And then the last one, New England Patriots.
No way.
Tough one.
They're out.
No way.
The
I'm-
door, the
Yeah.
door,
The door is
the chore.
definitely open for me.
You're definitely open.
Yeah, under Bill Belichick,
Yeah.
each of the 4 seasons after
You're just
missing
like
the
Tom
playoffs,
Bonnet of the
they have won 10 or more games. And
leaving the light on for him.
definitely. And this year, 9 might be enough since there's only 2 teams 2-0. Maybe 9 and 8 actually gets into the playoffs this year.
It
Very
could.
possible. I
So
think you're right.
I
Joe.
think New England has a shot.
Well,
Okay.
So New England's the only, and New England and Cincinnati, the only 2 I'm giving a
they'll
shot.
find a way to lose.
Okay.
All right.
The teams that are 2-0, all teams that were 2-0 last year made the playoffs,
Okay.
and they have I think about 7. Is it a 70%?
That's shocking.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, so they got a really good chance. All 7 that were 2-0 last year made it. That was Miami, Kansas City, Buffalo, Philly, Tampa Bay,
Wow.
and the Giants.
Chargers in Cincinnati for me. They
Keep
got
the
a
door
shot.
open. Okay.
New England's out.
Okay. So we got some teams that are already on the clock.
All right.
And then of course.
Okay.
Let's
Well-
let's get some picks going.
I will say, so now that we did the 0-2 teams, conversely, we need to do the 2-0 teams. For the first time in history, 7 teams from the same conference have begun the season 2-0. Surprisingly, it's the NFC, not the AFC. You would have predicted that. AFC has only 2. Okay, NFC, we got Dallas, Philly, Washington. I don't want to talk about each team. I just want you to tell me which ones are going to not make the playoffs that are 2-0. Dallas, Philadelphia, Washington, San Francisco, Atlanta, New Orleans, and Tampa Bay. They're undefeated, and Miami and Baltimore in the AFC. Now, history says 61% of 2-0 teams make the playoffs. Is that right?
Yep, I think you're closer
Okay.
than I was.
Pretty close.
Right.
All right. So which one of those teams do not?
There's 2 of them, Washington and Tampa Bay.
Okay.
Tampa Bay.
I've got Washington and Tampa Bay. Yes, for sure. And I'm going to throw in one more, and you guys are going to hate this one. I'm going to throw in Baltimore because there's too many good AFC teams. And eventually, I'm thinking Lamar Jackson's going to get hurt. He's not really a pocket passer, and they're trying to make him
Always
into
that
one.
X factor.
And I'm thinking something bad's going to happen.
People at Baltimore going to this.
I know.
I'm going to tell you one other
I can't
betting kick.
fit him
If you
in my
want to do
playoffs.
futures right now, Tennessee just went down from 100-1 after winning last week and playing good. They went all the way to 70-1.
That's
So, I mean, you lost 30, and then you also have on the futures, if you have some other teams like Washington, you still get a juicy 70 or 100-1 if you want to make your
nice.
futures bet at this time. I like to make them because, I'm going to probably put 25 on Tennessee, and if they win the whole Super Bowl, I'll win $2,000.
I'm totally on your side on that one.
I think they'll make the
love
playoffs.
that, Big Rich. All right.
All right, it's good futures for you.
Well, we want to get into our picks. You would say the underdogs was the way to go again last week. 10 out of 16. That's 20-12 for the underdogs after 2 weeks. And 19-1 straight up. Is anybody really going to go that way? Actually, as many games went over this week as went under the week before. So that theory went
So,
up.
Gator, do you have those guys at the books? The books are saying they love it when you bet the over and you bet the favorites, right?
Absolutely.
Everybody likes to bet those.
Absolutely.
And Vegas just says, keep betting them. We love it. And especially when we see that hook in there.
But it's easy to do. I mean, it just is. I mean,
yeah, it's funner to do.
It's a funner. I like that.
well, I don't know about
But I think winning is fun,
it's
so I'm
just
with you.
easy. It's just easier
It's
to
funner
put
to
your
lose
money
money.
on that than it is to say, well, this team hasn't done nothing, hasn't showed anything. How can I put money on?
And who wants to root for a low-scoring game where nobody scores a touchdown?
Well, I do. If I can win.
I don't-
too.
I see it differently.
All right, so our picks last week, I was 3-1. You
Oh.
guys.
You got me beat. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of like 2-1-1 because I did have
You're kind of like?
well, because if you got the under on the Dallas game early in the week,
Yeah.
you would have won. But if you got it later in the week,
I did. I
you
got a
lost.
39.5.
Yeah,
Close story.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
was 45.5 when it
It was
opened.
open.
And we knew
39.
Rodgers was hurt. That was the time to jump on it.
Yeah.
That was kind of stupid, but okay, we screwed up there.
You should have jumped it when you heard that Achilles.
Yeah, yep. Absolutely.
Well, I changed it at that time.
But I did have what did I have? I had Tennessee and Pittsburgh. So
Okay.
that hit, but New England did not make it.
Yeah, no, that was a tough one.
Yeah.
But I went with Miami. You went against me on that.
Yeah,
You know
I
that.
did. I mean,
Someone had to win. But it's like Deion Sanders. Someone's got to win. Someone's got to lose.
right, without a doubt.
Okay.
So you want to throw out a pick?
All right.
Okay, what are we going to do this week?
Well, I love Miami minus the 6.5. Denver's on the ropes playing. Finally get a home game. They had 2 big road wins, and now Miami gets to go home for their homecoming of the season. And Russell Wilson has
Oh, boy.
1 touchdown in the second half in the first 2 games, and it was a Hail Mary. You should never have caught it. So, I mean, he has basically 0 touchdowns second half. When it's scripted, Sean Payton is awesome. When he has to get off script, Russell's a mess. So I just like Miami.
That was an exciting finish to that game, though. I'll say
I know.
a real thriller. But yeah, looks like a good pick on paper for sure. Going against our underdog theory, though.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
of course.
It's a lot funner to bet on Miami
Funner.
than to bet on Denver. That's for sure. Because I've lost the last 2 weeks on Denver. It wasn't fun.
Yeah, I like that one. You got another one?
I'd like Seattle minus 6 now that
Yeah.
Andy Dalton's going to be the quarterback. I think Seattle at home. You got a tough crowd. That's a young Carolina team. That's going to be a rough place to play.
They might have a better chance with Andy Dalton than Bryce Young because Bryce Young looks terrible. But
I think Bryce
he's
Young's just young, doesn't know
Exactly.
where to throw to. Andy Dalton is about as mobile as Turbo the
Right.
Snail. So I'm telling you right now, they're going to get after him in Seattle. They do have some pretty big injuries. They lost two defensive players on the Seattle's defense, so that will hurt. But I think that that win they came back against Detroit, that's going to carry on.
I can't imagine Seattle losing that game. Question is, are they going to cover that?
Yeah,
spread?
like Carolina gets the backdoor cover like they always do last week. Come on, man. Come on. Play some defense out there and see it.
It's crazy how many times these things happen.
Yep. You guys got one? Got a pick?
Well, I'm going to go back to Tennessee since you brought them up. +3 at Cleveland. I don't know what's so great about Cleveland. I know that first game they beat Cincinnati, but it was a rainy field. Cincinnati looked terrible. And but I'm going to take the 3, and let's see what Tennessee's had a 1-point loss at New Orleans, and they beat the Chargers. So getting 3, I mean, even if they lose, 3.
They were a different team without Nick Chubb. There's no question. They were a different team.
That's another.
They have Kareem Hunt signed now. He's there, but I don't know what kind of football shape he's ready to play. I like the 3.5. Also, like Tennessee.
All right, really awesome. Another one, New England -2.5 at the Jets. I'm going against the Jets like all year now, as long as this Zach Wilson's going to be the quarterback. The Patriots have beat the Jets 14 straight times.
And he pounded Zach last year. Remember, he pounded that defense, pounded him. But
that's my 0-2 team that's going to jump out of the ashes.
They play the Jets twice. So 2-2. So you're looking good.
Yeah, well, even the Niners were 1-2 last year and ended up making the championship.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, there's going to be some teams.
I love that. As long as you get a field goal.
Right.
I love it. Yeah. Get it for a chance. It's going to go up.
I've only got one more pick. I like the Chargers and the Vikings to go over 54. I know that's easily the way highest number, but I watch these teams play defense. The Chargers, they're all about high scoring. The only reason the Tennessee game went under is because they were playing Tennessee and they run the ball. And
that game,
Tannehill didn't look terribly good either.
Is that game still a pick 'em?
It is. I think Minnesota's favored by 1. I think it moved to 1
because I think the Chargers.
Minnesota home.
I would think about it's still even.
I'm going to stay away from the side and expect a very.
I love the Chargers. I love the Chargers in that game. I love the Chargers. There's no way they're going 0-3. No way they're going 0-3. Minnesota's a mess. You said they can't run the ball. Kirk Cousins running for his life.
Somebody's going to go 0-3.
Well, someone's going to go 0-3, and then you're going to see Kirk Cousins on his way to New York with a big trade to the Jets. That's just my prediction.
Wow, that'd be awesome.
He's under contract, not under contract next year. Get something for him. Don't do the Ohtani mistake. If you're 0-3, move on. You're not making the playoffs.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does.
If you're really going to tank the season, might as well do it.
Might as well do it. Right. Okay, and my other one, I like the Rams and Cincinnati Bengals on Monday night to go over 43.5. That Rams offense is clicking.
Right. And you're counting on Burrow playing.
I'm counting on Burrow playing. I say he's got a sword, but he actually played a better second half than the first half. He had that pick 6 or a pick in the end zone really cost him the game. They might have won that game if he doesn't throw that interception. Well, and that's a whole different story.
Then he has one extra day to rest. Maybe that'll help. It is a Monday night game.
Big Joe will be playing. I'm telling you, Joe's going to play. He has to play. You can't go 0-3.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to it's going to be an overgame. And even if they don't, the Rams defense, has been playing better, but I still think I see them both. The games are both going to be in the 20s. I think it'll be 28, 21. So it'll be somewhere in that. I think they both get score over 20. The Rams offense is definitely clicking.
Rams have looked good.
They have looked good. According to some people said they wouldn't win a game. I don't know who said that, but somebody did. And they've already won one and almost beat San Francisco.
Almost.
They got some kid I never heard of catching like 15 balls.
Oh, that kid's would study. If you
or something.
Luka, he came from BYU.
Okay.
And he has had 35 receptions.
That's impossible.
In 2 games, yeah. So I'm talking about 35 receptions in 2 games. That's amazing. He's open all the time.
He's Cooper Kupp.
And they said his BYU coach has articles that he's the best player in college.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. So
that's
maybe
awesome.
we should get him on the talent report for picking some players.
I'm sure he got picked up last week on your fantasy football.
He's on my team, and he's starting next week.
Beautiful.
And we're going over.
All right. So where do we go from there? What do you think? Is that about it?
College football.
NFL? I guess so. If nobody has anything to add. There were some interesting games. Alabama, struggled at South Florida. I guess we had a rain delay or lightning or something. I don't know.
Right.
Game took an hour and a half longer than it's supposed to. Florida won at against number 11 Tennessee. Missouri. Now that was fun. The way they beat Kansas State.
Yeah,
61-yarder at the end.
Yeah, the 245-pound senior, the thicker kicker they call him.
Yeah.
Harrison Mevis. That was an amazing kick. Of course, Dion pulled that game out. I guess.
Oh yeah.
2 overtimes.
Two games in a row.
Colorado
The
State.
student body has run on the field in Boulder. 2 games in a row, they stormed the field.
Right.
So a lot of magic out there. But they say they got attitude and altitude out there, and
Yeah, they sure do.
Dion's bringing it.
For sure. There were some pretty interesting upsets. South Alabama won at Oklahoma State 33-7.
Oh, pound them.
What's happened to the Cowboys down there?
I know. I think they had a comeback win against Arizona State. You thought they were going to be, back on track.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Ohio beat Iowa State. Really? The Mid-American Conference? 10-7. Miami, Ohio.
They got a
won
lot
at
of problems
Cincinnati.
in that Iowa State
Apparently so.
with the betting scams going on there. And I think that's
They're betting against themselves.
Well,
right now
obviously
because they're losing outright
exactly.
on these games. Miami, Ohio won at Cincinnati in overtime, 31-24. And I saved the best for last. My alma mater, Sacramento State, won at Stanford, 30-24. Go Hornets!
Go Hornets.
Who would have predicted
Killer
that
Bees.
one? Unbelievable.
They were stinging it. Who'd they beat?
Stanford.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so maybe USC's not that good.
Maybe not.
If they beat Stanford that way.
But Sacramento State was a playoff team in Division II or whatever, FCS, I guess they call it now, last year. And they actually won a game in the playoffs. So they're actually a pretty solid team for that division, but not supposed to win at Stanford. But they did it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's impressive. So any game caught your eye?
Yeah, well, I had a pretty rough one. I lost a couple. We both lost. I was definitely up right on the Wyoming. They were stunning Texas 10-10 and going into the fourth quarter. They ended up covering the spread though. And I also lost the Minnesota game. It was tough. And Florida State, I don't know what happened in the second half, but they cannot guard the court. The quarterback was running crazy. Great game for Boston College. And it shows you on these picks, watch these home teams. Watch the home teams because that energy in these college fields, stadiums are much more important than the pros.
Without question.
So that's why I love it there. And I was really surprised that Colorado got beat. I missed that one too. But it was a great game. And, Travis Hunter's out. It's big, he got hit by Blackburn. Henry Blackburn took a cheap shot at him. And, when you take a cheap shot on an offensive player that plays defense, you just took 2 players out.
Right.
And he didn't even get ejected.
No.
Crazy.
No. Yeah.
But I guess there's been death threats on him. It was great to see the maturity of Deion Sanders coming and squashing that right away, saying, we forgive him. He's a football player. He's trying to get his college education, and just took the higher road. And great for everybody to learn from that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he did that. But still, wait till next year. We'll get a little revenge on that one.
I'm telling you, man, that was good. I mean, that was a great job by that coach getting those kids ready to play because that just surprised America.
Yeah, I thought maybe he was talking too much. Usually the teams that talk too much don't play well. He started it, but they actually played really, really well. I was surprised, and I lost on that bet too.
Yeah, I know. We both took a beat. Thanks a lot, Deion.
Yeah. And the other one, of course, I took another loser. Freaking Kansas. Idaho wins by 27 in Nevada, and Kansas only wins by 7.
But that's what I was talking about, the whole field advantage. I'm telling you, those kids came to play, and that stadium was rocking. They held Jalen Daniels. He was flustered all game, and it was like we thought it was going to be the other way.
I was shocked.
I was shocked. It was a 7-point win, I think.
Yes. Yeah. So that didn't work out well. But
didn't work out well. We made some money on Sunday, lost a little on Saturday. It's all good.
Okay. Well, there's always next week.
Saturday.
It's early in the season. Yep.
We have to start on Friday. Air Force -4.5 at San Jose State. I'm going to drop the 4.5. I know I just said don't go against the home teams, but I think that Air Force really controls the game. I think they played really good last week, and I think that that's going to carry on. They have a great quarterback, and I'm not really impressed with San Jose State at all. They're getting smashed by USC, and I think they lost another game to I want to say Cal or somebody. I got beat right off the bat. So Air Force is going to go on the road. I think it's going to be it's not going to be a blowout, but I think Air Force is going to be able to control the ball, control the tempo.
That's what they do. They run the ball.
Yeah.
They could be
very disciplined.
They could easily lead the nation in rushing.
They usually do. Them are Army.
Right.
Okay, you guys agree with that? We go.
Yes.
Okay, good. For Friday,
I didn't go against you. I only got 2 picks. I don't know. The more picks I make, the more nervous I get. So
let's keep you from being nervous. All right. So Rutgers is getting 24th Michigan. They covered last year, blew them out in the second half. Rutgers was winning 17-14 at halftime last year, and then they scored 28 points in the third quarter. Michigan came back. I'm going to tell you about Rutgers been playing good. They're 632 yards to their opponent's 225 yards in their first 3 games. They played Temple, they did Northwestern, and so they have had some other ones, but they have there's 6 takeaways to 2, and they held Northwestern only 12 yards rushing. So if they can keep JJ McCarthy in check, and don't give up those big things. I love the 24 points. I think Rutgers, like you said, they rush the ball. I can show you how many yards they have. This is rushing the ball. They're 632 yards rushing the ball in 3 games.
That's amazing.
So they're running the ball good. So I think that if they can just control the ball, keep McCarthy off the field, keep him from making the big play running. McCarthy only has like 20 or 30 yards rushing in his 3 games. So he passes the ball. So if they can keep him in check, keep the running game in check, I think Rutgers can keep that a close game. I see it close game at halftime, but don't cash your ticket just yet. Last year they blew a 23-point lead going into the second half, and then just gave up 28 points in the third quarter alone. So you got to win the turnover battles. So I'm going to take the 24 points. I like the points.
All right.
TCU.
Yeah,
TCU's at home against SMU. And I think they've scored the average of just a tick under 40 points, or like 39 something points per game. They very well could have beat that Colorado game. That game was back and forth, back and forth. The offense is rolling. I don't have a problem dropping to 6.5 against SMU at home.
At least a touchdown.
Yep, at least by a touchdown.
Okay.
All right, let's get to the one we both like, Joe. We'll go and go.
We're in trouble now.
Yeah, we're in trouble now.
Colorado plus 21 at Oregon. I don't know if that spread has moved, but I got a feeling people are going to jump on Colorado because I'm doing it. It seems to make too much sense. Travis Hunter is hurt though. That's a pretty bad.
You lost your best with the best corner in football and arguably one of the better receivers in football. Probably the best collegiate athlete in the country.
But just looking at what Colorado's done, I mean, they've had a couple close wins and a blowout. Now they're going to lose by 22 points or more. Yeah. I realize it's Oregon. It just doesn't seem likely to me that they're going to lose by that much. Oregon wins by less than that.
Yes, Oregon had a close game. One of their games was pretty close. I think they had.
Well, that was the Texas Tech game. It should have been a 1-point win. Ended up being an 8-point win on the very last drive.
I see Colorado's often. They're going to score.
I think they're going to score. They're going to score. Maybe the over might be a good play.
Yeah, it's probably at 70.
Well, probably is.
69.
Yeah. So, I don't have that with me here, do I?
No, we'll get that a little bit later.
Anyway, it'll be very high.
Okay, the other one I love. Okay, you go, Joe.
Well, I just been watching the Syracuse team. I don't know why. They just catch my eye, and I'm going to lay 13. Yeah, the orange. I do like orange a lot, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. And
some people like orange soda. You like orange?
I love orange soda. I love eating oranges. I was born in October, orange and black, everything about it. And they're only laying 13.5 against Army. I like this coach, Dino Babers. I know Army's good, but Syracuse at home, I'm sure they're still in the Carrier Dome and doing that bit. It's
they are
very good home field advantage. And they just seem like they're a little underrated. And I think one of these days they are going to be rated in the top 25.
Okay.
They might be.
You're on to something. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe so.
You might be.
But now that I caught their eye, they caught my eye, then they're probably going to lose outright.
No, you can't say that, Joe.
No,
you don't know.
Colorado and Syracuse, those are my picks.
Okay. I think this is the best pick of the week. Washington State +3 at home against Oregon State. Okay. Cameron Ward has 9 touchdowns, no interceptions, 990 yards in 3 games.
And that's a home dog, right?
That's a home dog. And you're going against DJ Ugalele, who's playing good, but he has 6 touchdowns and 2 picks. and he's only had 630 yards.
Good pick. I think that's a great
So
pick.
I think that if you see how DJ Ugalele's been, when he gets pressure and playing in Washington State, they're both ranked in the top 25 this week. And I think the pressure is going to be too much, as we saw him fold when he was in Clemson. I think we're going to see the same thing. You take the Washington State, take those 3 points before it goes down to 2.5.
Yes, exactly.
A sneaky place to play, Washington State. Sneakily bad.
Sneakily bad.
So
I don't think we've ever heard that before on the show, but you're a sneakily bad.
Yeah, it works.
Right. So another one, Notre Dame +3 at home against Ohio State.
Boy, that's going to be the
good.
game of the week.
Do they look good?
They have who's their quarterback?
Well, it's our kid from Duke.
Who is
Sam? What's his name? I forgot his name now. But anyway, yes, the guy with the beard, the 24-year-old.
Yeah, he's got
That should
he
be
has
good.
500
NFL,
5
Sam
years.
Hartman out of
Sam
Wake
Hartman
Forest.
out of Wake Forest. He's
Wake Forest,
fifth-year starter.
Oh, close.
It looks good though.
So he's got a lot of starts under his belt. Obviously, Ohio State's quarterback has 2 starts.
Right.
He's my Heisman pick for the year.
That'd be awesome if he did.
Right. So +3 at home, Ohio State. They drop a game every year in one of their first 5 games. I'm thinking this is the game. If Notre Dame wins this, like I predicted, they would be in the Final Four, one of the Final 4 picks. If they get past this game and jump up to 5-0, watch out. Watch out. They're halfway
They got a
there.
game against USC later in the year. That should be pretty tough. And they do go to Clemson, but Clemson's not looking that great.
No.
So Notre Dame.
I'm sure this is the game that's circled, so we'll see what they are. Yeah,
One at a time.
One at a time, and this is the one they're going to play. So I do like Notre Dame in that. And there's another game that's kind of catching my eye. We got BYU. They Kedon Slovis is 3-0. He's played just as many games as Hartman over there. He's the 5th-year starter, played 3 years at USC, and then he went last year to Pittsburgh. This year he's playing for BYU. They're 3-0, getting 8.5 at Kansas, who was shown that they had a little chink in the armor playing the mighty Wolfpack up here in Nevada. They are at home. Jaden Daniels is always a threat, but I think BYU keeps it close.
Yeah, I looked pretty closely at that one. I was thinking about picking that one. Now you just convinced me. I like BYU also. That's way too many points.
Okay, we got to put Gator and we got to put Cornelius on this pick because I don't know about it, but I'm going to give you Iowa and Penn State, another top 25, 225 teams. Iowa has Cade McNamara, who formerly of Michigan and also out here from Sparks in Reno, Nevada.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Reno or Sparks. I'm trying to remember now.
So he's another 5-year starter.
Yeah. And
I wasn't really impressed with Penn State at Illinois last week. They did cover, and I did hit that game. But I did. I just think I thought Illinois ran the ball way too much on them. There was a lot of soft coverage on the DBs, and I think if Cade McNamara can, he has made 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions this year, so that could be a thing. But Iowa's defense is always good. Yeah, actually, the first game that went over in 17 years went over last week against Central Michigan.
They scored 41 points.
They scored 41 points. Yeah,
who would have thought? I think the over and under was 40.
He is 40.
Is Penn State the dog?
Iowa's getting 14.5. Right?
They're favored by 15.
15.
Yeah, how much?
So I think Iowa with the 15 is a good bet.
Yeah, I would say so.
You guys, what do you?
I'm not touching that game. I'm staying away from that one. My games that I like are Wisconsin -5.5. I like Liberty -10. Air Force, I agree with you, -5. I'll take Ole Miss +6.5 over Bama. Texas -15. I'll take the Notre Dame Ohio State 55.5 over. I like the Wyoming -3. And my last one, which I'm still deciding whether I'm going to take it, I'll take Oregon -21. The over 70. The over is 70.5. I'm staying away from that.
All right.
I think Oregon can really put them in check.
That defense will be put in check for sure, but can they keep the high flying Buffaloes and Shredder Sanders? And I just think that they have a lot of firepower. I hope they keep it close, but we're gonna have to go against each other on that one there.
Yeah.
Cornelius.
I drink that Colorado Kool-Aid, I guess.
The altitude.
Let's see how that goes.
All righty.
So, should we go on?
NASCAR
over baseball. All right. We'll come back to baseball. What do we got here? We got time to shift over to NASCAR, what happened last week? It's that Saturday night race at Bristol.
Always.
That was an elimination race, basically, huh?
All kinds of action. Always. But Danny Hamlin won at 7.5, so you got a nice price there.
Decent odds.
Kyle Larson, the Chevys, it looked really good, but Toyota also received third place with Christopher Bell.
And he stayed out of the wall.
Exactly. Stayed out of the wall. And the top Ford was Chris Boucher at fourth.
And we just went. We're down to eight, right? We cut.
Well, we're down
12.
We're down to 12.
Down to 12. Yes.
Four drivers eliminated from the chase.
Joey Logano. See you later.
Last year's champion.
He wrecked on lap 262, right at the beginning of the.
So if he wouldn't have wrecked, you think he probably would have
knocked
he
out.
Probably still
he was pretty tough.
Surprisingly, Kevin Harvick is out in his final year of racing. My old hometown of Bakersfield. Oh well, that's the that's the way it goes.
So now we got 3 races, and then we cut another 4.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
We have
and,
then we'll go to
Michael McDowell.
Yeah, we have Texas. And then next week we go to Talladega.
Okay.
And then I think the other one I think is in Florida, I think, and that will be the next cut.
Homestead?
Yeah, it might be. I'm not sure. We'll have to check on that.
But it's probably Homestead.
Well,
we got 3 races until the next cut.
Okay.
Right.
That's correct. And right now, if you're looking at the championships, Kyle Larson's at a plus 420, but you have Denny Hamlin at 450, William Byron at 450, and my driver Truex at 5-1.
What about Chris Bell? You have him in there? I got him
He's
at 12
14.
14.
I have him at 12. I got him at 12 at the beginning, and I have Ross Chastain at 12 also. So he's probably doing
Will Chastain's at 22.
All right, so he's
So here's the races coming up. You got the Auto Trader Echo Park,
Texas.
Yep. And then we go to
Talladega.
Yellowwood 500, Talladega.
Nice.
Then you got the Bank of America Roval 400, which is in Charlotte,
North Carolina.
And
Nice
then
track. Great track.
South Point 400 in Vegas. That's our next 4.
Okay. And when they come to Vegas, they'll be down to 8.
Yeah, be down to 8. And then they do 3, and then there's one more race.
That's it.
That's usually Phoenix.
Right.
Yes, it will be Phoenix, unless they changed it, right?
Yeah,
no, they didn't
It's usually
change it.
Phoenix. Yeah.
That one after South Point was going to be Homestead, Miami.
Wow.
Okay, so that's the 5th one.
Yeah, that used to be the last race, but
At one time.
I'm glad
You
they're
never know. Hurricane can hit that up.
Then you got the Xfinity 500 in Martinsville,
And then you end up.
and then you got the championship in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So you get one more short
exit out.
track.
Martinsville.
Trip.
all right. You can
Brakes.
figure it out.
It's all about brakes there.
So who are you going to pick this week, Gator?
Well, I'm gonna go William Byron, so Chevys, but Truex is 8-1 as well. Byron's 8-1, and my guy driver's Truex is 8-1. But I'm gonna go with Chevys instead of Toyotas.
Well, Tyler Reddick won last year, but you're going with Byron. Okay.
What's Tyler Reddick right now?
In this race, okay. I don't have that one right here. It's
Probably get some pretty good money on
No,
Tyler Reddick. He does good on the big tracks.
Put it on different.
He's up plus 700.
Plus 700.
There you go.
7-1.
I'm going to go with my normal picks. Denny Hamlin, chose him last week. Finally, he paid off.
Yes, it did.
And then again, you get him at plus 500 now. And then my other long shots, again, I'll go with Harvick plus 2,800. And I'm going to switch over to Kyle Busch plus 1,400 and take Logano out.
Chevy.
That's my guy, Kyle Busch.
So,
We'll see how it goes.
See how it goes. Yeah.
all right.
Texas.
Major League Baseball, that's there's only a week and a half left in the regular season, and a couple more teams have clinched. We had Atlanta and the Dodgers already last week, but now Baltimore and Tampa Bay have both got their spots solidified for the
They're
playoffs.
still fighting out for the East. They're still fighting.
Right.
They haven't clinched their division.
Right. And of course, we know Minnesota and Milwaukee will win their divisions, and then the other ones are going to be fights down to the wire.
Right.
Yep, we got 3 teams for 2 spots in both divisions. So keep your hat on. Let's watch some baseball. It's going to come down. Some really important games coming up.
Yeah, Philly looks like a shoe-in to get in also.
Right.
Philly and Arizona are in for sure.
They look like they're ready to play some playoffs.
Okay.
Well, who's
So
hot and
Gator-
cold, Gator?
Well, in the last 10 games going into today, Dodgers were the hottest with 8-2. And then we have 4 teams that were 7-3. That would be Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, San Diego, and Detroit. Amazing Detroit's on that list. Cold teams is our beloved Oakland A's. They're 0-6 in their last 6, but they're 2-8 in their last 10.
How about them A's? Did you see what their record is?
Yeah.
46 and 106.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure you want me to say anything like that.
Oh, I don't mind mentioning it, even though they're my favorite team. They might not make it to 50 wins. That'd be shocking.
That would be shocking. You're right. Another 0-6 team is the Angels. They're 0-6, but they're 3-7.
And Tony cleared out his lockers.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Otani, he'll be back next year to hit. He'll be back 2025 for pitching.
Right. Tommy John surgery. So maybe he'll pitch in 2025. Question is where, huh?
Really? He's a free agent.
We do have 4 other teams that are 3-7 as well. That would be Boston, the White Sox, Washington, and the Cubs. Both Chicago teams are on that list.
Well, there go the Cubs. They were doing so well.
They're still in it. They're
I know. There's so many teams in there, though.
Cincinnati's looking all right.
Miami, San Francisco needs to get on a little bit of a winning streak.
Yeah, they're only one game over 500. Yeah,
they're done. They went 4-6 the last 10. Another 2 teams that were hot. Kansas City's been 7-3 the last 10.
Man, the Padres
8-2 the last 10.
Kansas City, I can't believe they're 7-3. They're avoiding the cellar and letting the A's take firm control of the worst team in baseball. Please take it, A's. Go for it. So
them or the Rockies, either one.
Well, I was going to say something. But
were the Rockies even close? Oh no, okay, I didn't pay attention to that side.
Well,
no.
All right. Well, let's move on.
Yeah, let's. What
do we got next?
Well, unless you want to throw in some baseball things, I wanted to thank. First of all, I wanted to thank Butch the Butcher for some of those stats on the NFL. I had some pretty good stats about some baseball here from Rockin, Ronnie, McKinnon. But just some injury news. Manny Machado, he's also going to get be a DH, and he has basically what they call like tennis elbow, and he's done for like 6 months. And
on the outfield, but he's still going to hit.
He's still going to hit. Also,
he's going to hit for 11 more games, and then he's going to be
the guy who made the Mookie Betts trade for the Red Sox. He just got fired. So eventually they got rid of him. I'll credit Adam Wainwright, 200 wins. Do you want to guess who else has 200 wins, active players right now? I could just zip them off for you if you want. Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw, and Zach Greinke. So that's a pretty good group of pitchers. So
200 wins.
Good for Adam Wainwright. I think he's like 42 years old. I think he can go off into the sunset now.
Yeah, he's throwing his fastball in the low 80s.
And if you bet the MVP, Matt Snell now, I guess, is the favorite in the National League. He pitched really well. What did he do? Like 7 innings and no hit ball last night.
Yep.
I think he just pretty much won that. If you bet on him, you're doing good.
And the other one, it looks like Cole's going to win it for the Yankees. So
yeah, that looks like probably not a battle there.
Right.
Okay.
Thanks, Ronnie. Thanks, Butcher.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for the help. So a couple bettable sports. I know people love golf. Solheim Cup, women's golf's version of the Ryder Cup this weekend in Spain.
Right.
Fierce match play competition. Who are you going to take, Gator?
I can't go with USA.
I got to go with Europe. All right.
Yeah, well,
I'm going to win.
How can I say I got to go with USA?
Okay.
Right or wrong?
I'm going to take Europe in the next week, too, in the Ryder Cup. It's going to be awesome to watch.
Well, that I agree with, too.
Just tell me quickly, Gator, who's undefeated in the Rugby World Cup?
Oh, okay. Well, in Pool A, France is. They're 2-0. All these teams are 2-0.
Okay.
In Pool B, we have Ireland and South Africa. And in Pool C, we have Wales. And in Pool D, we have England.
Okay. Well, go France. Let's see. That was my pick beginning.
Well, France should easily go 3-0.
Okay. And what are the games on television this weekend?
Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. We got a couple of games. We have Georgia against Portugal. Georgia's favored by 15.5. And England and Chile. Okay. And England is minus 49.5. Okay. But they're early in the morning, especially out
Saturday
here.
Early.
Saturday early.
I'll be ready to watch it.
All right.
And believe it or not, the preseason in the National Hockey League starts Friday.
Yep.
So soon.
The Kings and who they play in Arizona.
Okay, man.
It's all right. It's a start.
Does anyone advise betting on preseason hockey?
I don't advise watching preseason anything.
Okay, then we're not going to make any predictions there.
There's plenty of things to bet on. Stay off the ice.
It's fun to watch, though.
Exactly.
So now it's time for that segment about bets that appeared surely to be winners, but in the end, something went terribly wrong. They ended up being losers. It's time for You Got Hosed.
You got hosed.
So, Gator,
Yeah.
what do you got?
Well, Friday, the San Francisco Giants were at a minus 225, and they were playing the Colorado Rockies. Now, 89% of the money line bets were on the Giants. 89%, Joe. But the score was 1-1 going into the ninth, and in the top, Winter Flores walked with the bases loaded, so that put the Giants up 2-1, Joe, at Coors Field. 2-1, top
Bottom of the ninth. Okay.
Yeah, heading into the bottom of the ninth, correct, Joe. The Rockies hit a single to Mike,
Yastrzemski, sure.
Yaz threw the ball to Bailey, but the ball bounced past the catcher and let 2 runs in. The winning run was Blackman. But anyway, so the final score was
So like
3-2.
Like a 2-run error
Oh yeah.
to lose the game.
So you
in the
walk in
bottom
a
of the
run
ninth.
to get ahead, and then just poor baseball. Can we just say poor baseball?
Especially at Coors Field, but
Looks like
that's
Little League game.
But that's my lesson, you guys. The lesson here is that you're not going to win when you only score 2 runs at Coors Field.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
care
that's
who
true,
you
too.
are.
That's a good point.
But if you had the Giants, I would have to say at a minus 225, you got hosed.
Well, my You Got Hosed was I had 39.5 on
Oh,
the
God.
under, and why the
The Dallas
Cowboys
Oh,
went
the
for
Cowboys
2.
game.
Went for 2. I think it was probably offsides on the extra point or something, and
They got
somehow
on
they
the 1
moved
yard.
them up. Yeah, they hit that. I win the 30. I win by the hook, but now I die by the hook. So
They were dying.
They just kick the extra point.
if
you're
you get the
winning.
extra point, it's a winner.
Well, mine was an easy one to pick. Is that Sunday, San Francisco favored by 8 points at the Rams, and LA has the ball with 4 seconds left, down 10. Of course, most every other team would try to score a touchdown right there, right? They're
Yeah.
close enough to try it.
Sean McVay is he?
Oh man!
Is he on?
Now,
Is Sean McVay crook?
I don't know.
Is Sean McVay crook? I mean, I haven't seen nothing this crooked since Hunter Biden.
Well, you got a point.
There's a lot of crooked things going on out there.
Made it pretty obvious, didn't they?
But so
Makes no sense to kick
they
the field goal.
kick a field goal on the very last play of the game. So they make it to lose by 7, cover the point spread by 1. Also, if you had LA plus 4 points at halftime when the score was tied, they were pretty shocked too when they went for the field goal instead of just trying to score a touchdown right there.
Right.
And not even giving you a chance to cover that. So if you had San Francisco plus 8 at the beginning or Rams plus 4 at halftime, you got a host.
On both halves.
By the way,
Both halves.
McVay did come out and say he was not aware of gambling implications when the team kicked that field goal.
I do not believe that in a million years. These guys know what the spreads are. Somebody had to tell them.
And gamblers want McVay investigated after that kick.
Okay. Put him on there with Hunter, Donald Trump,
But yeah,
McVay.
I know what excuse it is. Well, that's points. That could be a tiebreaker at the end of the season. Those 3 points could be the difference. I don't know. Man. What are the odds?
I guess, I see what you're saying, Joe.
It's a million.
There's no reason to kick the field goal. Not hearing it. Don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Sports betting angle on
It's the
that.
way.
how much money is it? $1 billion?
$16 billion
$16 billion
and
industry.
going up.
Yeah, that was a minute ago.
16 billion reasons why to
I
bet
think that
on
was last year.
49ers.
You got hosed.
Well, thanks, you guys. Love this episode. Great.
Yeah, it's good.
It's great. Great show. And next week we'll be glad to.
You've been listening to Covering the Field. Email us at coveringthefield@gmail.com for all your comments or questions. Find us on Twitter @CoveringField. And of course, always check out the website for our picks of the week and updated articles. coveringthefield.com.